Florida, land of sunshine, beaches, and, wait for it, the most bizarre news headlines you've ever seen. Think we're exaggerating? Buckle up, because you're about to enter a world where reality is stranger than fiction. We're talking about the infamous Floridaman phenomenon. You know, those headlines that make you question everything you thought you knew about sanity. Floridaman arrested for throwing alligator through Wendy's drive-thru. Floridaman tries to pay for McDonald's with bag of weed. The list goes on. Trust us. It does. But how did Florida become the epicenter of the strange and unusual? The answer, my friends, is surprisingly simple. Sunshine. No, seriously, hear us out. Florida has some of the most open public records laws in the country, aptly nicknamed the Sunshine Law. This means that if something crazy happens and the police get involved, chances are we're all going to hear about it. And boy, do things ever happen. It's like the entire state is one giant improv stage and everyone's just riffing off each other. The result? A never-ending stream of headlines that read like rejected sitcom plots. But enough about the why. Let's get to the what. Take, for example, the case of the cookie-loving criminal. This gentleman, let's call him Chip, decided he simply couldn't live without a late-night snack. You know the feeling, right? That insatiable craving that hits you in the middle of the night, urging you to raid the kitchen for something sweet and satisfying. His target? A convenience store. Not just any convenience store, but the one known for having the best cookies in town. The kind that are always fresh out of the oven with that perfect balance of crispy edges and a soft, chewy center. His weapon of choice? A pair of gardening shears. Yes, you heard that right. Not a crowbar, not a lockpick, but gardening shears. It's almost as if he was planning to prune some hedges rather than commit a crime. Now you might be thinking, okay, that's kinda weird, but not exactly headline-worthy. And you'd be right if it weren't for one crucial detail. Chip didn't want money. He didn't want cigarettes. He wanted cookies, and not just any cookies. He was very specific about his demands, and not just any cookies. He wanted the premium ones, the kind that are usually kept behind the counter because they are so irresistible. He demanded the cashier hand over the good stuff, those delicious, freshly baked cookies that lure you in with their warm, gooey goodness. The kind that make you forget all your worries with just one bite. We've all been there, Chip. We've all had those moments where we just need a cookie to make everything better. We've all craved those cookies, the kind that make your mouth water just thinking about them. But most of us have the good sense to, pay for them. We might grumble about the price, but we hand over our money and walk away with our sweet prize. Chip, however, operates on a different level. He decided that the best way to satisfy his craving was to take matters into his own hands, quite literally. And so, armed with his trusty gardening shears, he made his move. It's a story that's both bizarre and oddly relatable. After all, who among us hasn't been tempted to go to extreme lengths for the perfect cookie? Speaking of operating on a different level, let's talk about Florida's most famous residence alligators. These ancient reptiles have been around for millions of years, and they have adapted remarkably well to modern life in the Sunshine State. These prehistoric creatures are everywhere in Florida, and they're not afraid to let you know it. From golf courses to backyards, and even in the middle of busy streets, alligators have made themselves at home. It's not uncommon to see them lounging in the sun or taking a leisurely stroll across a road. Just ask the guy who tried to fight one with a trash can lid. Imagine the scene, a brave or perhaps foolish individual standing his ground, armed with nothing but a flimsy piece of metal trying to shoo away a creature that has been around since the time of the dinosaurs. Or the woman who called 911 because one was blocking her driveway. Picture her frustration and fear as she realizes she can't leave her house because a massive alligator has decided to take a nap right in front of her car. To be fair, it was probably on its way to a very important meeting. Alligators have places to be too, Maybe it had a date or an important business meeting to attend. Who are we to judge? But our favorite alligator-related story has to be the one about the man who was arrested for, wait for it, throwing an alligator through a Wendy's drive-thru window. Yes, you heard that right. In a bizarre turn of events, this man decided that the best way to make a statement was to hurl a live alligator through a fast food restaurant's window. Why? Because Florida, that's why. No further explanation needed. The state is known for its wild and wacky news stories, and this one is no exception. It's just another day in the life of a Floridian. The best part? When asked why he did it, the man simply shrugged and said it seemed like a good idea at the time. His nonchalant attitude only adds to the absurdity of the situation. It's as if throwing an alligator through a window is just another casual Tuesday activity. We're not sure what's more baffling, the act itself or the casualness with which it was delivered. It's stories like these that make Florida such a fascinating and unpredictable place. You never know what kind of wild adventure awaits you around the corner. Love, marriage, and meth-laced wedding treats? Now you might be thinking, okay, these stories are wild, but surely Floridaman has a softer side, right? Maybe a tale of romance and heartfelt vows? Well, prepare to have your faith in humanity shaken once again. Because when it comes to love and marriage, Floridaman doesn't disappoint. In fact, he takes it to a whole new level. Picture this, a beautiful wedding ceremony, the bride in her stunning gown, the groom looking dapper, and guests eagerly awaiting the celebration. Everything seems perfect, right? But this isn't just any wedding. We're talking about the heartwarming tale of a Florida couple who decided to spice up their wedding day by, allegedly, lacing the reception food with methamphetamine. Yes, you heard that correctly. Meth. At a wedding. It's almost too outrageous to believe, but in the world of Floridaman, anything is possible. Apparently, they wanted their guests to have a truly unforgettable experience. And unforgettable it was, though probably not in the way they intended. Imagine the shock and confusion as guests began to feel the unexpected effects of the drug. Emergency responders were called, and the joyous occasion quickly turned into a chaotic scene. Guests were bewildered, some even requiring medical attention. Look, we're not saying that love is dead. Love is very much alive, even in the most unexpected places. But in Florida, it seems love might come with a side of something extra. We're just saying that in Florida, it might be high on something. So, the next time you attend a wedding in the Sunshine State, you might want to think twice before digging into the buffet, because you never know what surprises might be in store. Love, marriage, and meth-laced wedding treats? Only in Florida. And that, dear viewers, is just another chapter in the wild and unpredictable saga of Floridaman. Stay tuned for more unbelievable tales. You can't make this stuff up. We could go on and on. We haven't even touched on the guy who tried to ride a manatee to work, the woman who called 911 because her boyfriend wouldn't take her to Hooters, or the man who was arrested for... Well, we can't actually say that one on YouTube, just use your imagination. The point is, Floridaman is a force of nature. He is chaos personified. He is a walking, talking reminder that truth is often stranger than fiction, and he is, for better or worse, a national treasure. Floridaman, the gift that keeps on giving. So the next time you're feeling down, remember this. Somewhere out there in the Sunshine State, a Floridaman is doing something that will make you laugh, cry, and question the very fabric of reality. He is a constant source of entertainment, a reminder that even in the darkest of times, there is always something to smile about. He is Floridaman, and he is here to stay. Share your own tales of the absurd. Now we know what you're thinking. You're thinking, there's no way these stories are real. And we get it. In fact, we're willing to bet that you've got a few Floridaman stories of your own. So come on, share the wealth. Head down to the comments section and tell us about the weirdest, wildest, most Floridaman-esque thing you've ever seen or heard. We'll be waiting. Also, don't forget to subscribe to Bizarrely Brilliant. Because in the words of the great philosopher Floridaman himself, it's all in good fun. Probably.